Hello, is anyone there? Hi, my name is Barbara, and I live in the United States. But my friends here at Chapter and Chai have been lovely enough to host this book signing event for my book, Love Through Time. Uh, Let's see if that's going to blur. There we go. Love Through Time. And I'm going to read a little portion of it for you today. The question is, which chapter would you like me to read? Hmm. Oh, come on now. Don't be shy. Oh, goodness, I can't read that part. It'll give away the best bits. Tell you what, I'll simply open the book and read a random part, and hopefully I can give away the best bits. So let's see. No, can't read that. Yeah, no. Oh, goodness me. Let's see. Okay, all right. We'll go here. And I will read a little bit of my book, Love Through Time. So I'm going to have to take off my glasses to do this because I'm blind as a bat without them, but I can't read with them. So give me just a few minutes here. I'll do this. Okay. This is, I don't know what chapter this is. Let's see. Part of chapter 8. Let's see. Conversation between Taisha and Savannah. They're the two main characters in this book. That was the scariest experience of my life. How could it possibly have been good for me to be here? Taisha's voice was a mere whisper, but the anger behind her words reverberated like thunder in the compact car. Think logically for a minute, Ty. If you hadn't come, then you would not have known about Many Feathers. Many Feathers is a dead man. Taisha's voice steadily increased in volume. He died over 150 years ago. He doesn't exist, and your friend is absolutely insane trying to convince us otherwise. What if Black Calf is genuinely sane? I don't play what if games. Are you telling me you believe in ghosts now, Savannah? You, who are normally so practical? I'm just trying to figure this out. I mean, why Black Calf would go to all the trouble of telling us this just to scare us makes no sense. Why would you be so scared if what he said meant so little to you? You could have just brushed him off and gone about your way, but you haven't. You're still mulling over every word, aren't you? Wouldn't you be? Of course, Savannah agreed, unless I felt what he said held no merit. So you think that all that baloney is for real? I believe that he thinks it's real. You have to remember that some Native Americans take dreams very seriously, and you admitting to dreaming about a native only added fuel to the fire. So you're saying I should have lied. I don't know what I'm saying, Ty. Neither of us was thinking clearly enough to have lied. You know what they say about hindsight being 20/20. Well, I think that's the case now. It's easy to sit here and think of what the most logical course of action would have been and explain all that happened rationally when we're no longer under the sphere of influence. So you're saying we should just go back to Virginia and forget all about what happened here today. If we make it that far, Savannah said with a wry grin on her face. Just what is that supposed to mean? Taisha was still in no mood for her friend's jesting. Sorry, Ty. I'm trying to lighten the mood, and I'm also thinking about something Black Calf said after you left. The last thing that will lighten my mood is talking about that loony or about anything that happened in the last few hours. Geez, Ty, he really got to you, didn't he? Yeah, I guess he did. Yeah, well, I have to admit that Black Calf rather shook me up as well, especially. Look, you said I don't want to discuss it further, Savannah, and I'm not joking. I know, Ty. It's just that I think that, well, you need to know this one last detail. Then maybe we can sleep or let sleeping ghosts. Savannah started to explain, then stopped. Ty, I don't recall passing any major cities along this route, do you? Taisha looked into the distance at the myriad of lights spanning the horizon. The lights looked like thousands upon thousands of male lightning bugs fighting over a single mate. The twinkles of their dim yellow light seemed to go from horizon to horizon, leaving little room for the darkness to penetrate. As the car topped a ridge and moved into a valley, the lights disappeared. But when they topped the next ridge, the lights were still there. Maybe we're closer to Hive than we thought, Taisha interjected in the growing silence. Savannah stole a glance at her odometer. Not unless they moved the city since we left. We just passed Shelby a short while back and shouldn't be anywhere near another city until we reach Chester. Not that it matters, since I've never seen lights twinkle like that or that twinkle that brightly. Perhaps there's a fair or something going on, and that's lit up the sky with unnatural brilliance, Taisha offered. You had to use the word unnatural, didn't you? Sorry, but it was the only word that fit, and it's the only reasonable explanation that fits. Yeah, but are you forgetting the detail about not being any cities between Shelby and Chester? And no, I'm certain that there isn't one that I forgot with lights bright enough to rival the stars, unless they built one while we were at the reservation today. Maybe Chester is having a big to do about something. First, Taisha, the lights are practically smack dab in the middle of the road, which makes it unlikely that it would be a city, even if a city just did happen to appear since my last visit and was hosting a special fair. Have you ever seen a fair that lit up the horizon like that before? Well, you don't have to get so snappy about it. I was only trying to figure this out. How fast are you going anyway? Savannah stole another glance at her panel, reading the digital display aloud. 75 miles per hour. They have it on the speed control. So that hasn't fluctuated since we left the reservation. Why? Take another look at those lights. Yeah, holy mother. My words exactly, Taisha croaked. Those lights are getting larger and closer by the millimile. Millimile couldn't possibly be a real word, Savannah corrected instinctively. Like I'd know. But it seems for every fraction of a second we move closer, it moves 1,000 times closer to us. Maybe you should stop and turn around. Why? We can probably drive right through it, don't you think? Those lights are not some mutant firefly swarm that's going to fly right by us without a second glance. I can feel there's something wrong here. What are you thinking, Ty? I'm not thinking anything, but my gut tells me that those lights aren't what they seem, and it would be best to hightail it out of here. So could you please turn this dad blasted car around? I don't think it would matter, Ty. Why not? Because I think you're right, and those lights are moving far faster than we are, Savannah said, an obvious tremor in her voice. Which means it will overtake us whether we turn around or not. I'd have to drive at the speed of light, literally, to get away from those particular lights. Oh, hell no, I ain't buying that. Turn this car around right now, Savannah, and floor it. We're getting the heck out of Dodge now. The Ford Mustang's tires squealed loudly in protest as Savannah slammed on the brakes. The car fishtailed across 2 lanes, and Savannah was thankful for the lack of oncoming traffic. She gained control of the car and completed the U-turn, hitting the accelerator the moment the car straightened. Thaisha twisted in her seat, staring out of the rear window, her gaze widening in disbelief. Savannah glanced in the rearview mirror and let out a string of curses. Can't this bucket of bolts go any faster? I'm already going over 120 miles per hour, Ty. Oh my God in heaven, we're really not going to outrun it, are we? Why are we slowing? She snapped her head up and stared at the speedometer. 105, 100, 95. It's pointless, Ty, Savannah whispered, glancing again in the rearview mirror. We simply can't outrun it, whatever it is. And if we keep driving like lunatics, we're going to end up dead. If we stop, then we'll be sitting ducks, and whatever that thing is will kill us anyway. Savannah pulled to a stop along the grassy knoll of the small highway. laid her head on the steering wheel, and took several calming breaths. Aren't we overreacting just a little bit? Taisha looked at the rapidly approaching lights. No. Perhaps it's just what you said, a swarm of mutated fireflies, which would be nothing to get alarmed about. So why not just sit here and let it bypass us? Then we'll turn around and head for Harv. Savannah laughed nervously. I think we just got worked up over our little conversation with Black Calf, and now we're seeing boogeymen around every corner. No offense, Savannah, but I think your logic circuits are on a lunch break. I mean, really, when have you ever seen anything like this? Yet you just want to sit here and let it overtake us? Which, by the way, could be any minute now. Savannah glanced in the rearview mirror again, and her grip tightened on the steering wheel. I am being logical, unfortunately. You wouldn't happen to be as scared as I am, would you? Savannah murmured as they watched the lights move closer still. They were close enough now that she could tell that they were not mutant fireflies or car lights or anything she'd ever seen. The lights looked more like billions of stars that had fallen from the sky and were moving along trying to pick up enough speed to slingshot themselves back into the vastness of space. I'm so scared I can't even wet myself, Ty whispered. Savannah looked at her friend's face and smiled grimly. I can see the lights twinkling off your skin now, she murmured irrationally. Taisha lifted a hand instinctively to her face as if she could discern the difference in her skin. You too, she whispered, running a finger down the bridge of Savannah's nose. You're my best friend in the whole world, Ty. I just want you to know that. Think we'll still know each other in the afterlife? Taisha whispered as the car began filling with the brilliance of light. I don't think we're heading to the afterlife. Savannah sat, looking at the light that began to surround them, a sudden awareness gripping her like a warm embrace. Actually, I'm certain heaven isn't going to be a part of this at all. If what Black Calf said is true, then Savannah wanted to finish, but just then the brilliance of the light flared, washing over them, blinding them with its iridescence. Taisha screamed. She squeezed her eyes tightly closed, but Savannah dared to keep her eyes open. She watched in marvelous wonder the myriad of colors swirling around her. Her doubts fled as Black Calf's words settled over her and realization dawned. She closed her eyes then, gave Taisha's hand a reassuring squeeze, and waited for their journey to be over, a journey that she was most certain would find them in the year 1869. That's the end of chapter 8. Now I can put my glasses back on. So I hope you enjoyed that. And I appreciate everybody stopping by to listen to a short excerpt of my book, Left Through Time. And I hope you'll pick up a copy and read it for yourself to find out what happens to Taisha and Savannah in 1869. Happy reading, everyone. Thank you again for stopping by. Bye.